Reporting from Arkham Asylum, this is Gotham Rogues. In this video we take a look at forgotten Batman villain, the Corrosive Man. Throughout his near 80-year-old existence, Batman has faced countless enemies. Some of these have gone on to stand among the most infamous fictional villains in pop culture history, while others have completely vanished into obscurity. In this segment of Forgotten Bat Rogues, we spotlight the Corrosive Man. The Corrosive Man was introduced in a three-parter called Night People, published across Detective Comics 587 to 589 in 1988. The story was done by writers Alan Grant and John Wagner and penciler Norm Breyfogle. In my Cornelius Sturck video, I talked about these guys' run on Detective Comics and Batman in the late 80s and early 90s, a personal favorite Batman era of mine. In the first years of the run especially, they disregarded the classic rogues and chose to create villains of their own. Some of these fell into obscurity, while others lasted. Corrosive Man obviously belonging in the former camp. In Night People, we meet Derek Deke Mitchell, a convicted murderer who was set up by his former associate, Mortimer Cadaver, a psychopath with a fixation on death, and another forgotten Bat-Rogue that I'll eventually get to as well. Deke escapes from prison with only one thought in his mind: find Cadaver and get his revenge. On his way, however, he's spotted by a patrol car and is chased to the Gotham docks, where he hides amongst the waste barrels of a chemical factory. That's never a good idea in a Batman comic, and true to form, lightning strikes, igniting the flammable sludge, causing a massive explosion. Derek's body is never found, and shortly afterwards he emerges from the ashes as the Corrosive Man. Somehow, because this is comics, the chemical waste and the explosion transformed Mitchell's body into corrosive acid. With this new power, or is it a curse, Deke continues his search for Cadaver, determined to get his vengeance. But when you're an acid man, you can't just walk around the city without inadvertently causing some mayhem, obviously leading to confrontations with the Batman. After this three-parter, Mitchell made numerous cameo appearances, and his next big story was in Shadow of the Bat number 25, published in 1994. This one was written by Deke's co-creator Alan Grant, but penciled by Brett Blevins. It's essentially the same story as the first one. He escapes prison and sets out to kill Mortimer Cadaver. However, this story takes place in the middle of Night's Quest, following nightfall when Bane broke Bruce Wayne's back. As a result, John Paul Valley, aka Azrael, took over the mantle of the Bat for about a year. So it's not the proper Batman that Deke fights here, but As-Bat. On a side note, it also features one of the very few appearances of Joe Public, an obscure forgotten DC superhero. He actually helps As-Bat defeat the Corrosive Man, proving himself not to be totally useless. Following this story, Mitchell continued to make cameos, the latest one being from Gotham Knights number 33, released in 2002. Here he briefly teams up with two other neglected rogues, the Signal Man and Kite Man. Yeah, that really says it all. When you're put in the same league as Kite Man, aka Charlie Brown, you know you're a washed up, has-been loser. We haven't really seen anything of the Corrosive Man since then, and I can understand why that is. He's a one-note kind of guy. All he ever wanted was revenge on Cadaver. That's his sole motivation. It worked really well in the first story, but it was already getting old in the second one. I do like the guy though. He's got a cool design and a cool power that's really more of a curse. In his acid state, Deke is in constant pain, and anything he touches eventually erodes. There are several scenes in the first story where this is used to comical effect, such as when he gets into a van only to melt the steering wheel and go straight through the seat. Later he's in an apartment and erodes right through the floor, falling into the apartment underneath. He's a character who's tragic, scary, and comedic all at the same time. Sympathetic as well, at least in his first appearance. The only thing he's after is killing Cadaver. He doesn't want to hurt anyone else and avoids other people, even trying to avoid a fight with Batman. In his second story though, Derek seems to have gotten more murderous and even says it himself that he doesn't care who dies in his wake. I also feel that Corrosive Man is a fairly unique villain in the Batman Rogues Gallery. I mean, it doesn't contain any other acid men. Yeah, Dr. Phosphorus is a bit similar, but he was basically already a forgotten Bat-Rogue himself when Deke appeared. So to sum up, I really like the character, but considering how he only really works well once, I'm not too upset that he's gone. I don't like though that he's being compared to the freaking Kite Man. So there you have it, that's the story of forgotten Batman villain, the Corrosive Man. A pretty awesome dude who sadly lacked longevity. Remember, Arkham Asylum awaits you in the next video.